What it be, what it do, Scooby-Doo? I'm Mr. Gaming Counselor. Welcome, YouTube, to, Jeff, hit it.
Welcome to the Counselor's Office.
That's right, the Counselor's Office, and we are back with some more Destiny 2. Guys, I was taking a break from Destiny, and y'all showing so much love. We have 1.6k views, almost 100 likes, which, if you want to check the video out, give it a like. Let's get to 100 for, make me feel happy. And then I've bumped up from like 330 something. I got like 20 something subscribers. Thank you for those who subscribed. I'm going to give some shout outs right now because I know I have a couple on my OBS. Where's the list? Okay, I've got two. I've got Whopper and then Kadaris Brown. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to you. All right, back to what people came here for, which is this week in Destiny, and we're going to be reviewing the Dev Insight. Most of this is whatever. They replaced Zavala. This is the very... You're like, oh, no, we already heard about this. My opinion, I'm okay with it. Keith David is probably the best person to try to replace Lance Redrick. Now, no one could replace our commander. But the story must go on, and I'm glad it's the voice of the Arbiter. Keith is a legend. He shows love to his game projects. He's an understander. I am glad we didn't get some random person that has no idea about games, and they're like just reading a script. Our ghost at the beginning of Destiny 1. Let's move on. Exotic mission rotator is coming. We heard about it. We knew it was coming. Here's the specifics. I'm going to just like number crunch this because we have a whole dev review to go through. And not all this is like needs to be digested. So we're going to be able to get catalyst. You're going to be able to craft each individual weapon. There's going to be a legendary version. There's going to be a normal version. You do the legendary version to get catalyst experience, which is great. Which it sounds like, from what it sounds like, is that our... I don't know. Sources, missions, and their associated catalysts. So I don't know if that implies that older exotics like Dead Man's Hell is going to get its own catalyst. Does it already have one? I don't remember. I don't think so. But if it does, obviously it wasn't that memorable in the first place. But apparently we're going to get some catalysts. And if we do, that's awesome. Hopefully it does better. We're also going to get more traits. They're going to add more traits to the loot pool. Thank God, because some of those loot pool traits sucked, and I'm glad we're getting some diversity. They need it desperately. So here we go. For instance, we got Presage, craftable, Dead Man's Tale. You're also going to get armor and seasonal weapons from Seasonal Haunted. Those include like Nezarec's Whisper and Opulent. So you're going to get a chunk that you can do from playing Presage. So when Presage is in rotation for the week, that's where you want to grind. Presage. Grind it. You'll get all those weapons. It's not guaranteed red border. That's another thing down the line. It's not guaranteed red borders from loophole, which there's also no lockout. There's no lockout, so you could get 20 Nezarec red borders. I don't know why that's a thing. My assumption is because they want you to spend your time in the mission, the exotic mission, to get the bang out of their buck, because they don't want to make something that no one uses because they're using money. And they don't want it to be a waste. So that's why they're forcing you. If you want this stuff because you took a break from Destiny or you're new, guess what? If you want the good stuff, you're going to have to spend your life farming. There's no guarantee. Or you could just use all the pay-to-win items on your battle pass and get your item. It's not really pay-to-win for these weapons. They've been out forever. Everyone who wants them already has them, except for the newbies or the people that left. So technically, for you, it's pay to catch up. And you also need Beyond Light or Season of the Haunted, so you gotta pay money for it. Vox Obscura, isn't that nice? Exotic mission, you gotta pay for it. That's where they get you, right? Money. Vox Obscura, exotic mission, Dead Messenger, now craftable. I'm okay with this because I want to see what traits are on it, because right now I don't touch Dead Messenger. It's kind of like for the funsies, but no one touches it. Especially in PvP, since they nerfed it, but especially in PvE, there's so much better. Like a regular legendary does what Dead Messenger does, but better. Unless you want to wipe an entire sea of things. Dead Messenger is good. Seasonal weapons from the Risen. Armor. Tusk Allegiance set. There you go. Must have Witch Queen or Season of the Risen. Guess what? Pay that money. Operation. Seraph Shield. Revision 0. It's already craftable. Nothing's changing. It already has a catalyst. Nothing new. You're going to be able to get Season of the Seraph gear and armor. And Akilos weapons. The only one that really matters is probably the SMG and the hand cannon. The sniper, I don't know if anyone uses. The shotgun, I don't think anyone uses. And that's pretty much it. The Warmind Avatar set, it's alright. Must have Witch Queen or Season of the Seraph. Each exotic mission in its rotation will feature the same reward behavior. So it's all going to act the same. If you do Legendary, you're going to get the red border for the craftable exotic of the mission. If you do the Legendary, you're going to get some experience towards the Catalyst. I don't know if that means like that's how we unlock it. If there's new ones. I'm like reading it right here. Completion of Legendary version of the exotic mission reward a Catalyst upgrade for the crafted exotic. So I'm assuming we're going to get an upgrade. I don't know if there's just one catalyst, one upgrade. I don't know the implications of what this. We'll have to wait and see. All this is fine and dandy. Like, all this is fine and dandy. My only gripe is them forcing you to have to grind and grind and grind because there is no lockout for previous stuff. So, sorry for people who want stuff that they couldn't get. Good luck, because the loophole is hefty. And the fact that you can get repeat red borders, I think is stupid. But that's my thought. Age gating. Can't be a kid and play. Sorry. Dev Insight. We'll talk about that with the Dev Insight. Grandmaster, they really want to put this, like, this thing on a pedestal. Guys, you wanted something challenging? It's the moon. The moon is here. The moon. It's the moon. Hey, guys. Look what we did. Hey, Mom. Look what I did. I did a thing. Mom. That's what it seems like. Like at least 3 or 4 times. At least 3. That they've talked about the moon. The moon's coming back. Guys, we made the game harder. I like the moon. I think it's one of my favorite ones. But God, it's like we do something like, look, we're doing something. How about more? I know PvP would like some more. Ooh. August, they're talking about the showcase. August 22nd. Keep your hype very low. I know there's going to be people that have the same feeling as me, but are still going to spend like hundreds of dollars on the collector's edition. You'll be lucky if I even go near the base version, but I will probably buy the base version. And if it's not Forsaken size level, I am done with Destiny. Because the climax should be over the top, over delivered, hyped up. But I'm going to keep my hype very low until the day of. Because then if it's trash, I won't be disappointed. I mean, I take that back. I won't be upset, but I will be disappointed. That's the difference. Lightfall is both upset and disappointed. Good news. If you don't want to pay for this game, or at least the Witch Queen, which, let me tell you, Lightfall should be free, but hey, Witch Queen is the better expansion. You can play it with PSN Plus. Enjoy. You're going to have a great time. And end of season reminder, grab your crap. It's going away the 22nd. Then we have all this. Honestly, Destiny 2's art. There's some great artists out there. So sometimes you can't tell if it's AI. All right, and that's the end of that. We just got all that. Can I just make a note? I think it's really funny is that we have this week in Destiny, but then we have the bulk of it on Wednesday. That isn't this week in Destiny. Like, what is... It's not a complaint. It's just kind of funny that we have a literal moment to broadcast things, but we're choosing to split it up. I don't know. I'm not the creative director of any of this. All right, let's talk about it. I know it's late. There's going to be people like, well, people have already reviewed it. Well, guess what? I don't care because I haven't reviewed it. And I'm going to put it on my channel because it's not on my channel. So, don't like it. Bye-bye. Have a good one. I don't want to tell you. I'm not babysitter of the community or of other creators and what they do. This is my channel. I post what I want when I want. So, thank you. If you stuck around for the first part and you're done with the second part, have a good day. Peace. High five. Whatever you want to do. Bye-bye. If you're here, let's check it out. I've got some gripes. First off, can we... I want to say that most of these exotic changes... Okay. Can we just talk about Knucklehead Radar? Functionally, no one cares about Knucklehead Radar because it just gives you a radar when aiming down sight. So functionally, it's non-existent because most people don't really look at their radar mid-fight. It maybe trials, you're like min-maxing, but even then, no one cares. It was a nothing burger. But then you take another nothing burger, a Foe Tracer. You take its ability, which no one was using in PvE or PvP. No one was ever using Knucklehead Radar in PvE. And you took one nothing burger and add it to another nothing burger. It's still a nothing burger. Like, it's almost like they didn't even try to change Knucklehead Radar or improve it. They just took... They planned on changing Foe Tracer, and it is changed. But instead of just tossing away the perk, they're like, we could toss this somewhere else. And Knucklehead Radar is the unwanted stepchild, and they just slapped it. Here, you can have it. You can have our leftovers. This is where our time and resources is going to. This right here. Bungie's like, well, we don't have the time or the resources to make maps, but we can make useless changes that will not change the use of an exotic. Why waste time doing such a bare minimum time to change something? It makes no sense. You could have asked anyone, PvE or PvP, hey, will you use this exotic? No, it's useless. Why would I use this? You took a nothing burger with a nothing burger. Boom, there it is. Now there's going to be some Foe Tracer mains out there. I love Foe Tracer. Is it ever in the top PvE usage? No. Is it ever in the top PvP and comp or trials? No. Still stompies. Knucklehead Radar is a big nothing burger. Honestly, what they should have done, and this is a wild thought, you should have put intrinsically opening shot on the Knucklehead Radar when you're using a sniper. When you're using a sniper and you aim down sight, you get opening shot. But here's the trade-off. That'll be way too broken. People will be triggered, especially when they hear sniper. It's intrinsic, but it doesn't combine if you already have a sniper with opening shot. So it essentially frees up a perk slot on a sniper. You get the aim down sight where you have a radar, and you get built-in opening shot with a sniper. So you can use that slot for something else. Honestly, I think sniper mains would use that. Like, ooh, I can see my radar, and I get built-in opening shot. So it's no longer required to be a god roll if I get a sniper that has a perk that I do want, but I wouldn't use it over opening shot. That would allow a little more diversity in snipers, because right now, what you're going to use in a sniper is snapshot, opening shot. Moving target, opening shot. That's pretty much what people talk about when they think snipers. I don't know. That's just my dev chair. My dev chair. You want my chair right here? Yeah, that's my dev chair right there. And I'm giving you my opinion because I'm also a gamer who uses this stuff. And I can tell you, you will not use... You might see a small increase, but not enough. Foe Tracer. Becoming monochromatic Maestro. I think this is good. You get a Jack of all trades exotic where it gains damage bonus with weapons that have the same damage type as your subclass. Additionally, when you defeat an enemy that you've damaged with one of your abilities, it produces one of the collectible objects. So Void will make the Void, Solar will make Solar, and Arc will make the Trace Rifles. That's cool. I like that. I like these Jack of all trade exotics that kind of do multiple things, but they're not like overly broken. So if you actually like them, they won't be nerfed. That's the truth. Like if it's a Jack of all trades, usually they're not that strong, but they're good enough that you can use them in niche builds and they don't immediately get nerfed. Like, is anyone going out of the way to nerf Bombardiers? I don't think so. Lucky Raspberry. This exotic was a little too unreliable in its current form, so we've taken a crack at streamlining its energy gains while leaving some of its benefits intact. The exotic still expands the chaining capability of arc grenades. No one really uses arc bolt as much unless there's like an artifact that boosts it. But now instead of basing the grenade on chains each time you damage an enemy with a lightning strike from the jolted condition, as well as each time you pick up an ionic trace. I like the fact that it's ionic trace is involved here because the jolt is very situational unless you're using the artifact that grenades jolt targets, in which case then this is like beautiful synergy. The exotic still expands, yada yada, as well as each time you gain additional energy, which I think arc grenades aren't like overly broken, especially in PvP. They're kind of like finisher nades. You toss it, they finish up. So I don't think PvP is gonna really gripe about it. I could be surprised. Maybe if someone finds a broken build and they just spam arc grenades, maybe we're gonna have an issue on our hands. I don't know. But for PvE, this seems like it's where it's going to shine, especially the fact that you can stun overload champions. Thank you. We have more. There's more ways to build in that doesn't rely on a stupid artifact. I like that. That's a W. Renew Grasp is no longer nerfed. Thank you. This is one of my biggest gripes about Destiny development. When something's broken, and it happens in PvE, but much, much less, where they nerf something in PvP, and then it's just also nerfed in PvE for no reason. Like, who out there was like, you know what? Renew Grasp, they're able to just survive forever. Meanwhile, you have a glaive, and I'm being slammed in the face by an unstoppable ogre, and I take, like, no damage. But that's okay, but I take a lot less damage with a Renewal Grasp. Thank God, because Stasis needs love. Like, who really uses Stasis Hunter except for a few builds and just for memes? It's not optimal, but Renewal Grasp was such a fun way, because you could either throw it in a group or you could throw it on yourself or your team. So it could be offensive or defensive. I liked it. It added something to the Hunter's kit, but then you nerfed, like, the survivability of it, which made no sense in PvE. PvP, like, I would have been okay if they made it easier to kill the crystal. Like, if you shoot the crystal, it fades away, and then guess what? They're dead. I mean, it's no worse than someone using a rift. Titans! Let's see. Icefall Mantle, Doomfang Pauldron, Path of the Burning Step. There's a lot of stuff here, and I'm ignoring it. Icefall Mantle grants an escalating bonus to stasis weapon damage when getting rapid stasis kills. When you activate your class ability, you immediately gain the highest tier bonus. I actually like Icefall Mantles. Again, I think it's also kind of a meme. Like, in PvE, I tried making it work, but I do like that now you can use stasis. That's the biggest problem with stasis weapons, is that they're almost as useless as kinetics. I mean, the fact that they even do less than kinetics. But like I'm thinking GMs and master raids. Like, that's where I live. I don't care about any build can be played in anything else, even seasonal content. You could use just the wackiest setup and it's gonna be the bee's knees. I'm talking about, like, I want a build that shines, that I feel good about. Stasis weapons ain't it, Chief. Except for Riptide with Chill Clip. Or any of the fusions with Chill Clip. That's pretty much the only stasis weapon I use in any of my builds safely and securely. Or the grenade launcher. I've yet to get a God Roll Chill Clip Lingering Dread, but don't knock it. It's good. So I'm glad there's something to kind of give weapons a boost and me to use a reason to build into that. I think Stasis needs more perks besides Chill Clip, or give primary weapons Chill Clip. Give it a limiter where it has to be so many shots before it activates Chill Clip. Like, you have to do like 5 shots to activate Chill Clip. I don't know. It may be broken, but honestly, why would I use... I have zero reason, even Headstone, like, I have zero reason to use a stasis weapon over a primary kinetic. Zero. Usually they have better rolls anyways. Doomfang Pauldron grants escalating bonus to void weapons when getting rapid voids. When you get a void melee, you immediately gain the highest tier. So, Titans, you're finally getting some void love. Hunters have had Omni Oculus for void builds, like to go invisible and release for team support. Then they got Gerfalcons, which is probably I wouldn't say the best GM, but for like basic raids below, it's like top tier. GMs, I still prefer Omnius, because it's a lot more support and it has better uptime. But you finally have some synergy with void weapons. I'm happy. And this exotic needed help because no one was using it. Path of Burning Steps. Getting a solar grenade kill now grants the highest tier solar weapon damage. This exotic got absolutely slapped on the side. No one was saying it was broken, but they nerfed its damage. So it's good that it's easier to proc now. So if you want to throw some nades to try to get your absolute, because it's also annoying that you had that it wasn't like always guaranteed. You had to ramp up to it. But now you just throw one grenade to a group of ads, get a kill, and then you're just maxed damage. Cool. Eternal Warrior, what is this? I know it's a D1 exotic, but I never touch it. Since the exotic only grants its highest tier damage bonus automatically when your super ends, which is stupid that it's very reliant on your super, and I'm glad they acknowledge that. The duration of the arc weapon damage bonus when your Fist of Havoc super ends has been extended for 30 seconds. Wow, almost a minute. I still, like, is it only, do you get overshield too still with your super? Like, I don't remember. Like, if it's like a combination of the old and new, that's great. But if they completely reworked it to where you only get bonus damage after a super, I think it's a wasted exotic and most people won't touch it unless you can get your super really high, which I think is stupid. I don't think roaming supers have gotten shade. So ACD feedback, thanks. Oh my god, please tell me you made this decent. The exotic got a complete mechanical rework and now is tied into the armor charge system, increasing its versatility and making it more useful in scenarios where you may not be able to take a lot of melee damage, such as like GM. So I want to use this in GM. I mean, granted, no one's using this in PvE, but if I wanted to, you're gonna get slapped if you slapped if you try to do this with a new perk, which completely replaces the old. When melee hits, give you an armor charge. So you take a hit, you get an armor charge. You take reduced melee damage while you have that armor charge. Taking melee damage causes you to emit a burst of damage arc energy that jolts target. Great, more synergy. Consuming your armor charge and dealing more damage based on the number of stacks consumed. Note that the damage dealt by the burst of arc should be comparable to its current damage for 0 to 3 stacks. So it's not actually... So it's not actually getting a buff. The damage that you get now is the damage you get, which I don't know if it's even substantial. Hall of Fire, I don't know. I think for me, it's a nothing burger. Someone else there can tell me if it's going to be great or not. Hall of Fire. I used to use the Slaza Titan. This exotic often stands in the shadow of the more ubiquitous Heart of Innermost Light. Yeah. To remedy that, we removed its base energy solar abilities and replaced it with a perk that'll let you build into more sunspots. Also, just time out. It wasn't just because Heart of Innermost Light. It was also the fact that in order to actually use to the fullest Heart of Fire Innermost, or Heart, yeah, Hollow Fire Heart, you had to not use your super for the big part of it. For the faster recharge rate, you just couldn't use your super, which telling people not to use the power fantasy of their super is stupid. Unless your super sucks, which hammers are kind of mid comparative. So maybe. You make sunspots. We think seeing more sunspots on the battlefield as a result. As for the perk that greatly increases your ability to regenerate when your super is full, that is not being left out. So what exactly is going on? What's the perk? It says will let you build more into sunspots. So why can't you just tell us? You've told us everything else of what's going on. Why is it a secret? Could someone... Hi, I'm confused. What's the perk? Okay. Cool. I think the win here is Ice Mantle for Stasis and Doom for Void. And I guess Path, but you have to get Grenade Kill. Everything else looks like it's pretty simple. So I like the other two better because it's just a Void Kill and getting a melee. So they're all... This one's a grenade build version, which... They did that because getting a hammer kill is so easy. So this kind of sucks because it could have been a melee. But if they did it, they knew that you're always going to be timed. You're going to be maxed. So I get it, but I think it's stupid. Warlocks. Atrocite Verse. Man, that needed help, didn't it? We've added 2 more pieces of functionality to this exotic. Enemies near you, when you blink, become volatile. I don't know how many of you are running into a group in a GM. Maybe in PvE? Does it say, or PvP? Does this say anything? It says enemies. So it doesn't say combatants, which means this implies PvP as well. You're gonna see that more in PvP than PvE, because most people don't care to run into a group in PvE unless you're using a sword. Additionally, when you're using Nova Warp, the Dark Blink ability no longer consumes energy. There you go. I think Nova Warp is better, and with the fact that you have the helmet on, you can just blink without using energy. I think someone in PvP can have better correction, but maybe in 6s, Nova Warp is back on the menu, because you can spam blink now for free. Geomag stabilizers, man, this used to be my go-to arc. While we've been often heard calls to restore the perk that let you top off super energy by sprinting, which I thought was cool, the legacy of that incentive still creates some pretty silly play patterns. Yeah, running. Imagine that. Instead, we wanted to give players a way to get more energy. Also, running against walls. That happens too. No matter how charged their super is. Okay, so you get more super energy. Now, picking up ionic traces while wearing the exotic will grant Guardians additional super. Thank God, it's easy to get. It's easy to get those traces. So I'm okay with this. Geomags is back on the menu, baby. Wings of Sacred Meme, because that's exactly what they are. Why use this when you have it built into the abilities? Is it like He Rises that does this? Leading into the orbital weapons platform. Also, by the way, no one really wants to be in the air, because you just die easy. For the most part, most of the time when I'm playing PvP and someone's in the air, they just die. I very rarely see anyone in trials sit there floating in a target, because they're just going to get team shot to death. And then 6s, you guessed it, team shot to death. Instead, we wanted to give players a way to get super energy. Oh, wait, I already did that one. Typically, reloading was the main cause of the float. It was also the survivability. I think we're ignoring the survivability here. This exotic now automatically reloads solar weapons, including the weapons you're holding from reserves each time you get a kill while aiming down sights. Try this one with Xenophage. How about no? In PvE, I'm not going to be using Xenophage to kill trash ads. And in PvP, you're not going to have Xenophage that long. So, Gambit? There you go. There's your new Gambit weapon. Bungie didn't come out. This is the new DLC for Gambit. We heard you wanted more content for Gambit. Warlocks, here you go. You can use Xenophage and snipe from across the map and never worry about it. Look the Gambit for a Warlock flying in the air near you. God. This is the kind of things of read the room, Bungie. Read the room. The problem with this wasn't necessarily the reloading. It was the survivability. Anything that requires you to be in air, either the inner accuracy sucks, or you die. You die. That's the thing. You're putting a target on your face. Sure, trash players get killed and mowed down by someone in the air. But most people who are good know to look like, oh, there's a moron. Oop, dead. I mean, they make the perfect, because their versatility is very bad. They make for the easiest sniping target in the world. You might as well put a magnet on them and whoop. Winter's Guile. Due to the nature of Stasis Warlock's melee ability, this exotic was previously a disappointing choice for the subclass. No one's using Winter Guile because most people used it with glaives, and you nerfed that interaction. Or at least I think they did. Someone correct me. Someone correct me if they did. Maybe that's just Titan. I could be wrong, but I don't see anyone using Winter Guile anyways. I know it's the one that stacks the damage buff. We've added a new perk to this one, specifically for when you're playing Stasis subclass. Now, combatants encased by your Penumbra Blast will automatically shatter after a short delay. Cool. That is just a bonus. It's cool. Maybe someone's going to make a crack build with this. Maybe. I honestly, if I'm a Warlock, I am using other exotics that are much like Ozomancy. Like, if you're not using Ozomancy on a Warlock, I don't know what you're doing. I mean, Ozomancy is the bee's knees. Now, I'm going to cause it into existence where it's going to get nerfed, and I'm just going to hate everything about my life because I love that exotic. Ability preview. Ooh, here we go. Strand is getting nerfed. But before we get to that, here's where I get annoyed. Here we go. Are you ready for it? Reduce the uptime and potency of barricade abilities, particularly in high-level PvP activities. But here's the thing. It doesn't say just PvP. It doesn't say just PvP. It says particularly, not specifically. Specifically means it's only in. This nerf is hitting PvE. Why? Striker, PvP. Okay, cool. Which, we'll talk about that too. Correct the one-size-fits-all nature of suspend. Yes. Let's just get to it. Let's just talk about the nerfs here, okay? Base tower, cool. This is across the board. This isn't just for PvP. Why? This is the crap I'm talking about where they nerf things in PvP and it hits PvE. First off, most people are using the barricade. Or not barricade, the rally barricade. But if you wanted to use towering barricade, I mean, the void barricade for Titan already got nerfed in PvE. But now this is being nerfed in PvE too. This is so stupid. So, like, people can have rifts. We can dodge invisible. But Titans, like, I'm not even a Titan main. I'm annoyed. Why? Like, do you want people to just only use hammer? Because that's what I use to go solo. Like, forget using a tower barricade. I'm just going to stay in my sunspots. I'm just going to use a rally barricade to pump out sunspots. I mean, you're already doing that anyways. But I'm definitely not using towering barricade. Just stuff like that is stupid. And it makes me mad. It's like, why? Why can't you balance things that doesn't impact PvE? And if you intend to do it for PvE, what's the reason? Who was out there saying, man, we're killing Nezarec too fast because the towering barricade tightened? Man, we're surviving this GM because this tower is just blocking everything, including the tank shots, the boss shots. It's just tanking everything, even though splash damage exists. And if you're behind the barricade and it hits the barricade, you just instantly die anyways because of splash damage. All barricades, at least they compensated the damage resistance. Cool. I don't know why this couldn't be applied to this, but they wanted to do this, which makes no sense. Stupid. Stupid, 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 stupid. However, the maximum, yada yada, players deal additionally 20 to Bastion. A change we introduced, yada yada. Alright, Striker Titans. I thought we're talking about just the base Titan, but no, apparently Thunder Crash is catching some hands. It's being treated as a roaming super. Particularly in PvE, we believe this change will be felt most strongly in lower count without too disruptive for PvE Striker. Again, why? Thunder Crash wasn't even like the go-to. I mean, I guess for Arc it was, but it wasn't like, man, it wasn't the meta because most people use other better DPS options. Like, you want to talk about power creep? Thunder Crash used to be the thing, and now it's just like, But you're nerfing it, and you're also, you're nerfing barricades, you're nerfing Thunder Crash, making it a roamy super. Like, I just don't get it. Like, I never use Thunder Crash in PvP anyways. Maybe for trash ads, but I never try to get up on a boss because you just die. Or if you're just trying to insta-nuke a champion. But I was never using the exotic that increased my Thunder Crash damage anyways, because I was using Heart of Emos Light to get the best out of the kit, because that is the best way to get your energy kit. I don't know. Again, they make small, stupid changes that just makes no sense. Diversity, right? Diversity. Because the changes to Striker and PvE base totally made a difference. So let's make Thunder Crash take longer. Strand. We knew Strand was getting nerfed. I knew it. You knew it. Your grandma knew it. I'm not upset. I mean, I am upset, but I mean, it's honestly, I knew it was coming. They really, I'm just going to kind of explain. They're reducing suspend specifically. It does everything. It's too good. Champions, your mother is floating up in the air longer than she should. It's crazy. So they're reducing it against non-combatants to 5 seconds uptime. Thread of continuity, if you got it equipped, it only goes to 7 seconds. It was 12. Champions, you're looking at 3 seconds. 4. You get a whole second with Thread of Continuity. I don't know if it does anything else besides just increase suspend. I don't know. It's been a minute since I've checked my suspend build. Increase snap damage dealt to suspend boss combatants by 67 damage. Okay, so it's kind of like, whatever. Essentially, it's more of a panic button, less of a you're controlling everything. Stasis is more control. They want it to be control. Strand is, oh crap. Boop. Let's get out of here. Dead of Generation reduce overall energy gain per damage event against PV enemies by 20%. Rebalance the energy multiplier. You see what you see? I want you to take a notice. All these nerfs in PvE. Do you see any of them impacting PvP? I mean, it's a problem in PvE, but we're not doing anything in PvP, huh? Do you see any times? Do you see any energy nerfs? I don't. So why? What? I don't know. Take it as you think. They're rebalancing energy gains. Threadlings. So here's the thing. They're increasing by 30%. It's needed. I don't think anyone cares. So here's the real thing about threadlings. And this video is going long, and I'm going to try to wrap it up. But who cares about threadlings? No one does. I'm not ever going to use hatchling. 30%. 30% of what it's already doing isn't much. Because they barely do anything in GMs. Like, sure, take it out into general trash content. Who cares? You take it into GM and it literally tickles the scrotum of a champion. That's how much it does. Like, honestly, you really want threadlings to be used? You make it to where when they explode, they give you suspend, they give you sever, or whatever the other one is. I don't remember what the other strand one is because no one actually cares. But you make it where if it does damage, it applies some kind of effect. It should, like, on their own, they suck. Like, I would more likely use Headstone than use a primary with Hatchling. Because one has better capabilities. I don't, like, because this is combatants. That means bosses, champions, trash ads. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the 30% breaks it. But right now, the only person that's really doing well with threadlings is Warlock. And I say, well, Warlock. So, again, I think threadlings need more help than this. I think they need more potency. They need more diversity. Add another sever option. Tangles, reduce creation. Great. I think it takes a long time to make tangles, whereas making fire sprites and ionic traces, you could pop those out like dollars. Sever, increased it from 4 to 40% from 30. Cool. I still think it's going to be pointless because if a champion runs up to you and punches you in the face or shoots you, you're still going to be dead. Who cares? And bosses, I don't even think can be severed. Like actual bosses. I don't think they can be severed. So who cares? Who really cares? If you told me a war priest and day 1, 40% could be severed. If we actually, had Strand back then. If it could be, then I would use it. But I don't think bosses are impacted by sever. Someone in the comment section correct me. Silk Strike. 5% increased resistance. It's something. I don't know how much that's going to move the needle. All these resistance, and you could use glaives for 97% resist. Like, when I look at these, I'm like, just run a glaive. Or just run a glaive. You don't need strand, just run a glaive. Thread Runner, Silk Strike. Reduce suppression time between upper attacks. Great. They reduced vertical lift from the area attack, which no one used because it sucked. We're talking about Thread Runner Spectre for PvE. Increase the time to 12 seconds. Has more health. I can't speak to this. I never touched this. This looks like all buffs. Someone can tell me in PvE. You see it all the time in PvP, but PvE, I don't think anyone cares. Brood Weaver's the Wander Aspect. Destroying a takeout now creates a delayed suspension detonation. Suspension's great. But the problem with this is people are going to be shooting your tangles like it's hot, and that's why Wanderer sucks. Like, anything relying on tangles suck because always, if you're not playing with a team that is working with you, everyone shoots the stupid tangle. So it's wasted. But they're increasing it. Cool. We heard consistent feedback the strand grapple wasn't working as intended. So now when you grapple, you'll actual grapple and not melee. That's great. They're adding and removing things. Making some of these easier to activate. Thread of Isolation, Thread of Wisdom, Thread of Continuity. That's all great. Thread of Rebirth. I don't know what this is. I've never really heard unless it's the Threadling build. And then they acknowledge that Celestial Fire Scorch is not activating when Sun Bracers, when it's been like that for like a year now. Because that's the Bungie way. Either something's broken in their code or I don't know. But there you go. My insight is most of these are nothing burgers. Some of them we knew were going to happen. Some of them are stupid and make no sense. It is what it is. I told you what I liked, what I didn't like. I just hate that PvE gets indirectly nerfed from PvP, and it makes no sense at all. Because if it was really a problem, then they should have given an explanation why it was nerfed in PvE in the first place. It's almost like they slide it on the rug, and like maybe they won't notice. Barricades being nerfed? Ooh, they won't notice. Well, Warlocks, they'll be coming after your Rift next. Let's be honest. People complain about things. Rift, you're next. 15% uptime. Or only 50% uptime. It's being reduced by 30-something, 50%. I don't know. 75% downtime. I don't know. I'm Mr. Gaming Counselor. I'm being silly. I'm being stupid. Y'all have given these videos love, so I figured I'd do another one. I know I'm late on the dev one. I don't give a flying front door. Suck my toes. If you're one of those people. But everyone else that's shown love, thank you. You're awesome. I appreciate you. And if you guys really enjoy this, I guess I have a market to market like I'm getting paid. But I will make some things you guys like, such as reviews and things like this. I thank you. Comments down below, as always, because I love talking to you guys. And don't forget to subscribe if you have not already. We're almost to 400 subscribers. It looks good. It looks great. Wowzers. Don't forget to be the best version of yourself. And as always, game out.